Hey everyone, and welcome back to Turn This Way with me, your host, Jennifer Radkey. I don't know where you are in your life right now, if you are content with where your life is, or if you are debating making major changes, or maybe somewhere in between. Today, we're diving into something big, those moments when life is calling you to make a change. Maybe you're thinking about switching careers, starting a business, moving to a new city, or even making a personal transformation. Whatever it is, making a major change can feel exciting, terrifying, and everything in between. It's a time when you yearn for something more or something different than what you are currently experiencing, and it's definitely a time that calls for some introspection. So before you take that leap, I want you to ask yourself 10 powerful questions to make sure you're truly ready. Oh, and I don't want you just to sit back and listen today. I want you to engage. Grab a notebook, open your notes app, or even say your answers out loud. If you're driving, just think things through as we go. Are you ready? Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the first question, and it's a two-parter. Why do I want to make this change, and why now? Think about it. Are you running away from something or moving towards something better? There's a difference. If you are running away from something, that's okay. But make sure that you are running towards something better. What is happening in your life at this exact moment that makes you want to take on this change? Understanding your motive and intentions behind making the change is critical to ensure that it lines up with your values. Take a moment and say it out loud. I want to make this change now because. If your answer is driven by fear, frustration, or external pressure, it might be worth pausing just to ensure that the change you are going to make will end up benefiting you. But if it's fueled by excitement, passion, or purpose, that's a green light. Question number 2. What does success look like for me in this change? Close your eyes for a second. Imagine your life 6 months or a year from now after making this change. What does success feel like? What does it look like? And remember, your version of success will look different than everyone else's. Maybe your success feels like peace or looks like independence. Whatever your version of success is, take some time to really understand it. Here's a journal prompt. Write down your ideal outcome in one sentence. Okay. Question number 3. What are my biggest fears about this change? Let's be real. Fear is a normal part of the process, but fear loses power when we call it out. So say this with me. The fear I have about this change is, and I will face it by. When my clients are setting goals, I like to ask them to create if-when plans to help them overcome possible obstacles on their journey. For example, if I am feeling self-doubt, then I'll remember the time that I overcame that impossible challenge, whatever the challenge was for the individual. Or, if I am feeling overwhelmed, I will ask my partner for help. A lot of people let fear stop them before they even start. But when you name your fear and create a plan to tackle it, you're already ahead of the game. Question number 4. How will this change impact my relationships? Big shifts can ripple into your personal life. Have you thought about how this change might affect your partner, kids, friends, or coworkers? Just because a major change will affect others doesn't mean that you can't go ahead with it, but it does mean that you need to sit down with that person and discuss your plans and what that may mean for them and your relationship. Here's an action step for you to take. Identify one person in your life you need to have an honest conversation with about this decision. Question 5. What's the worst case scenario and can I handle it? This is one of my favorite mindset hacks. Instead of fearing the unknown or jumping in and hoping for the best, map out the worst possible outcome. And then ask yourself, could I survive that? And remember that we are capable of handling much more than we give ourselves credit for. Knowing that you could handle the worst case scenario makes the life-changing choice that much easier to take. Here's a quick exercise. Write down the worst-case scenario, then brainstorm at least one way you could bounce back from it. Question number 6. Do I have the financial and emotional resources to make this transition? Okay, I love manifestation as much as anyone else, but I'm also a realist. Sometimes mindset alone isn't enough. You need a plan. Do you have savings? A support system? A backup plan? If not, do you know how you could get them if they are needed? Reality check. If you don't have the resources yet, what's one step you can take today to start preparing? Question number 7. What skills or knowledge do I need before making the leap? Be honest with yourself. Are there skills you need to sharpen first? Is there knowledge that you need to gain before making the change? Take some action. Make a list of 3 things you need to learn before making this change. Then find one resource, whether it's a book, a course, a podcast, or a mentor, and get started. Question 8. What is my plan if things don't go as expected? Sometimes things go as planned. Other times they don't. What's your backup strategy? Having a backup strategy will prevent you from freezing in uncertainty if you need to alter the route of your change. Here's a challenge for you. Write down your plan B. Even if you never need it, which I hope you don't, knowing you have one will give you confidence. Question number 9. Who can support me through this transition? No one succeeds alone. Who's in your corner? Think of family, friends, co-workers, mentors, etc. Who can you rely on for sincere support through this change? I know I am grateful to have a variety of people in my life who I can rely on for support in different ways and for different reasons. DM me on Instagram and tell me the one person you're going to lean on for support. I'd love to hear. And our last question, question number 10, circles back to the first one. Am I making this change out of fear or faith? Take a deep breath. This is a big one. Are you stepping forward because you believe in what's ahead, or are you running from something behind you? You need to have your eyes set forward to navigate major life changes. You might be running away from something behind you, but you need to be present future focused. And here's a final reflection. Whisper this to yourself. I trust myself to make the right decision. I trust myself to make the right decision. Okay, I know that was a lot to think about. If you stuck with me through all 10 questions, I know you're serious about making the right choices for your future. Your challenge is to re-listen to this episode with a journal and write down your answers. Give yourself time to process. And if you need accountability, I'd love to hear from you. Share your biggest takeaway from today's episode on Instagram or LinkedIn and tag me. If you found this episode helpful, please take a second to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support helps Turn This Way grow, and I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. Until next time, remember, the direction you choose is yours, so turn this way toward growth, clarity, and the life you're meant to live. If you are on the brink of making a major life change and opening your own restaurant, bar, or hotel, reach out for some personalized one-on-one mindset coaching to ensure that you are ready to take the leap. You can find me at www.krghospitality.com.